Hey, fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. I'm here with a familiar guest, Henrik Wallensten, Swedish Davis Cup stringer, racket tester for many, many years. We've known each other for quite a while. And he's a great player as well. And he has been testing some new rackets and new gear, and he's still searching for his holy grail, as am I. So we're going to discuss that and many other things, gear, today in today's pod. So welcome, Henrik.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to be here.
So how is your racket journey going? I when I talk to you, sometimes it's like, oh, I ordered 3 of this, and then no, I'm gonna stop that order because I play this, and then I ordered this, and I recognize myself way too much in this behavior.
Yeah, if we should make our conversations public, I think the closest mental hospital would actually bring us in, because we are not like we are crazy when it comes to racket. You and me, totally
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't show that to anyone.
we cannot.
No, it's funny. You experience that honeymoon period with like every so often, and then you get like, this doesn't work, and then after some matches, it you reveal something new. But it's fun though. It's fun though, and it doesn't harm anyone. So I think that's the good part. And as long as you're playing tennis, you're enjoying it. And tennis is one of those like sports where the people who play tennis seems to live the longest. So we have many rackets ahead of us. It seems like.
Yeah, I have been ordering a lot of new rackets, a lot of really oldies but goldies. I have been trying the new Prince Phantom 100X. I've been trying the Phantom 107, the new one that will be launched any day now. I have been trying old Bubble Up Pure Storms. I have been playing with the new head boom. I've been using Gravity Pro Stock. I have been using Head Extreme Pro Stock 285.3. I've been trying the Radical MP Pro Stock. I have been trying the new Head Speed MP. I've been trying the new Prestige MP. No, Prestige Pro. I have been trying the new blade line, especially the 100, the 100L, and my latest love, the 104. Let's get back to the 104 a bit later. What else have I been trying? I have been trying Yonex E-Zone. I've ordered actually a couple of Yonex E-Zones because I thought I played pretty well with it. I play well with it on practice, but as soon as I play matches, I lose my games very fast with it. I don't know why, but it feels very good when I use it in practice, and especially in doubles, but not in singles. Cannot explain why, but it's a great racket. It feels very good when I play with it, but I don't get any effect. Maybe it's just that I need to, I don't know, tweak it a bit more. The good thing though is that when I have a racket that I love and want to switch to it, I use it for 2 weeks and then I sell it. With the Yonex E-Zone, it's not like that. I have to like work it to love me. So I will not give up on that one yet. But the racket I'm using now actually is the new blade. It's not the 100, not 100L. It's the 104. A 27.25 inches racket, so a little bit longer, like 1 centimeter longer. I've added quite a bit of lead to the sides because the swing weight was very low. It was 310 strung. Now I have it up to 325, and I also had I got the sample or the demo racket in grip size 1, so I've added a really thick grip enlarger and a thick head overgrip to it. So now it feels like a grip 3, and it plays perfect. I have 24 kilos with the Jonix Polytor Pro in it. It feels great. It feels I have the control of a normal blade, but I have more reach. I have more power, a really good spin, and when I'm hitting off-center shots, the string pattern is very open, so it does the ball just don't die. And also they have beefed up the flex quite a bit. When I tried the version 7 104, the flex was like 58, 59 or something, and it was just too soft. This one has 64 RA strung, so it's really solid up in the top as well. So it plays really good. I will really give this one a go and try it now when our clay courts are opening in a week or two, and see how it goes. But it feels fantastic at the moment with this racket.
Yeah, and have a kind of history of enjoying. I mean, you play with everything, like have as well, like everything from like a I Prestige MP, with the 95 square inch 1820 pattern, up now to liking a little bit more towards 100. That's pretty standard, but also going a bit above that, like oversized rackets. You had the Candy Cane Radical Tours, like that oversized frame. How big is that? Is that 104 actual head size, or what is that?
It's a 690. I think the 10 the Blade 104 is officially 671. So I think the Candy Cane is a little bit bigger. I have it behind me, so maybe we can compare.
Yeah, because they had used to measure the rackets the other way around, right? So they used to measure the outside of the racket, not the inside, like everyone else. So the it's probably about the same. I would guess. I think they're pretty much similar.
Let me see.
Maybe a bit bigger on the head for the head racket.
They
Yeah,
look
the head is a bit bigger, right?
maybe a little bit.
But it's very small. I think it's maybe 105
Yeah,
because if it's not actually 107 though, that part I know.
the head is yeah, maybe 2 inches. So yeah, 105, 106 or something like that. So it's they are very similar. The head is 18-19 string pattern, and it's pretty dense in the center as well. So as long as you have a dense center, because I'm still a decent player, so I hit most of my shots in the center of the racket. And if you have like a tight string bed in the center, those oversized racket works very well. But as we talked about in the review of the Phantom, the 107 is very, very open string pattern. So I have a more difficult time to control that one. For example, if they had the 107 Prince in like 1819, that one would be much more controllable. We had the same with when we tried the Jonix Percept, the 100. It felt good, but a little bit too not unpredictable, but it was a little bit you needed more control. And with the Yonex 1 Percept 100D gives more control compared to the 100. So as long as it's tight in the center, you can have pretty much as big hitting area as you want.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the 100D is quite a lot better than the 100 from the Percept line, for example. And you see now we saw Andre Agassi even hitting with that. I'm pretty sure it was 100D because it seems to suit kind of ball strikers that have a clean contact, for example. And especially if you kind of hit more flat or maybe more through the ball. Flat is maybe the wrong term. Everybody plays with some kind of spin, but you're more through the court, right? So Carousel from my 10 HQ uses that model for a reason. So that's true, and that could work. I mean, you're playing. You need have a big serve, and then you can hit big on both wings. You don't like to get into extended rallies, if I'm not mistaken. So why not? You can use like an oversized racket for sure. So it's really about finding that blend of things that it just seems to work. And like you said, you need to try in a match because if you're not playing the racket in a match, practice and match are two completely different things. So you can play practice and you're like, this is the racket for me. I am putting more on the ball. I'm pushing my practice partner back, even when you play practice points. Then you play a tournament and suddenly like the racket just every ball goes 1 meter out suddenly, or something is just off, even if it's like 5 millimeters out. It's still not good enough. What are you looking for mainly in a racket? What would be your like top three list of what you want in a tennis racket?
I would say good spin, because I play a lot of spin. I want control, because I can still hit the ball pretty hard, and stability as well. So like a solid, stable, controlled spin frame, so to say. So I've been trying the like pure drives. I've tried the head extremes. They are good in practice, but when I play match, I tend to I let the racket control me. If I have like a head eye prestige or something, I must hit all the time, because otherwise the ball don't go over the net. When I have like a pure drive or extreme, I tend to shorten my strokes. In the beginning, I just hit, boom, flat out. And then the tighter the match gets, the shorter my swing. So in the end, I'm just pushing like the ball I don't hit through the shots because I'm afraid it will go long. So my conclusion is that I need bigger frame, like 100 plus, hitting surface, I need a thinner beam, but still controllable. And I don't want it to be too soft, because then I need some help with the flex as well. So like a flex of 62 and upwards, 100 to 105 square inches surface, and it doesn't really matter if it's 1619 or 1819 string pattern, as long as it's eight strings in the center piece of the racket, so it's tight in the center. That is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that's a spec that a lot of people are realizing is a good way to go for them in kind of modern tennis, because pure drives, they are very powerful. You need kind of good technique and movement to even control that power. And if you don't have good technique, you're probably going to end up with some kind of tennis elbow, maybe because of the stiffness of the frame, right? But if you're a good ball striker, probably tennis elbow is not your problem. But then the thing is, like, you might be overwhelmed by the power. I think that is maybe what you struggle with the East Zone. It has a lot of power in it, so it can be overwhelming. You feel like, okay, it feels good, and it plays well, but then you're like, you miss a bit with the margins when you're tight, and you hold back. And I hate holding back. I have the same. I've gone through all that journey, liking the Dunlop CX400 Tour, which is a very, very good frame, a little bit thinner beam, around 24 or 23 millimeters, or more like a Speed MP kind of ish. But for me, it was a bit tough to control in the end. So now I've landed on the Extreme Tour again, which is, I know it's not your cup of tea, but for me, with my customization, which sounds very heavy maybe, but for me, it's been working the best. So my PT57As that I was playing a lot with before, which were like no power at all, were like close to 340 swing weight. So now I took those specs pretty much and went to the Extreme Tour, which more spin, and I reduced my string tension, and that's been very good for me so far. So it's like 340 swing weight, close to, not quite 338, maybe 337 strung, and then with quite a headlight balance, so like 31.8 centimeter balance and 345 46 grams weight. And for me, that feels great. Like, I feel great on all the shots. I don't have any issues with volleys or serve or one-handed backhand. I try to go for the pure Aero VS because Daniel, my friend and hitting partner, he has been here for 2 months. He plays really well with it, and it's a great racket when you're hitting through the ball and really attacking the ball. But I also struggled sometimes with the weight of that, or he had a very heavy spec, but also with the power, because the ball really goes up. And on the one-handed backhand, I struggle with the Aero beam. The Aero VS beam just doesn't feel good for me in my technique. So in the end, I'm trying to back to my Extreme Tour. So it's that's how it is. You sometimes go in a round in a circle, right? You're coming back to what you liked X years ago.
Yeah, I have the same. I mean, I used to play with the Pure Storm or Pure Control, and now I have found a couple on our Swedish Blocket site. So I bought three of them, and I tried them on the practice, and it felt really good. But it's, I mean, a modern blade does everything like that racket does, and the blade is better. So the racket of the today is really, really good. No one is making bad rackets. Every racket today is, yeah, it's pretty much better than the older rackets. The older rackets, if you are like playing very continental style grips and just hitting more or less flat shots, then maybe the older style like Prestige or Pro Staff 6-1 and rackets like that is better. But for the modern game, the modern racket is actually better. They are faster, they are bigger sweet spot, they help you with better spin, more explosive power, and yet has, with the modern technology, also very good dampening. So I don't, knock on wood, but I have not felt anything in my arm, even if I have been trying like 25 different racket models over the last couple of months now. So they are doing things right, the racket companies.
Yeah, I would say so. I've not really experienced any discomfort except for with the Aero VS, funnily enough. Like, that's the first time I started feeling a little bit like, even at a very low tension, I was playing it right, 21 kilos, 20 kilos polyester. And I still felt a little bit of discomfort, and I have had no zero issues at all. And now I played 3.5 hours today, 2 hours yesterday, no, 3 hours yesterday, and with the same extreme tour setup, and I'm fine. I have nothing, right? Like it's 340 swing weight, so it still requires something to swing, but no problems at all. So yeah, the Aero VS, it seems to be quite a firm racket, although it's a modern racket. But overall, I completely agree with you that like there's a reason, like old rackets feel great. Like you can't beat the feel. I think the feeling connection to the ball is just amazing, but they are so unforgiving generally. Like when you're playing someone who hits with a lot of spin and pace, like playing with an older style racket, it feels very, very difficult to me. Like it's something I just shake my head. I'm like, I can't, this is not usable, you know. I can take the specs and put that in a more modern frame, and I feel like that's a good blend, but I can't play with it in the same way. You need a bit more forgiveness and a bit more help from the frame, and that's what you get from most modern rackets, I would say.
Yeah, the sweet spot of a racket from the 90s compared to a racket from today. I mean, the sweet spot of a racket from the 90s, it's like a tennis ball. It's the size of a fist. And the sweet spot of a modern racket is not the entire hitting area, hitting surface, but pretty much so. So they are much more forgiving, but still has good feel actually. So the technology, it really works. They are the racket of today. I think they are really good. They need most rackets for you and me need some kind of customization, and for most pro players as well. But it's just like minor tweaks with some lead here, some silicone there, and that is something most players can do at home without any real. mm, Yeah, they don't need to like do anything magic. It's just like a couple of grams here and there to tweak rackets to fit your game and style.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, so the Blade 104, your feelings, your latest love. You recently went on a tennis trip to Austria. I mean, it was a skiing trip for some of the guys in the trip, but you played tennis there. How was that? And you played on like indoor clay, right? So it's like a tent clay or something like that.
Yeah, I got a message on Instagram from a fellow Swede, Johan Brolenius. He used to actually be a Olympic downhill or Olympic alpine skier. He finished 8th in one Olympics back in the 2000s, I think. And he was also the captain of the Swedish alpine skiing team for a while. And he lives in Innsbruck. And I went down to Kitzbühel, and Kitzbühel, Innsbruck, it's about 100 kilometers. So I went there 2 days in a row. We played 3 hours on the Thursday and 2 hours on the Friday, indoor clay in a bubble. The Friday it was like 20 degrees outside and 190% humidity inside the bubble, so we were sweating rivers. But it was so nice. The spring was in full blossom there. The cherry trees had blossomed, and everything in Tyrol, as the state is called, where Innsbruck is. It's just so beautiful. I will actually go down there in end of May and play a league game in men's 35 and over for his team. And I will be there a couple of days and travel with car in the mountains and also play a lot of tennis, eat some schnitzels and drink some beers. So it will be really nice. I just love Austria. I could easily move there. If I could find a good work there, I would beg on my knees to my family to move with me there, because Austria is just it's heaven on earth. It's I love it. The people are very friendly. They are more like how Sweden was in the past, with everything is clean, everything is yeah, it's like it should be in Austria. I love it. It's perfect, heaven on earth.
Yeah, it's a good place. I like also visiting Austria, and it's many beautiful places there, like Salzburg and around the Alps and all that you mentioned, right? Like Kitzbühel, beautiful tennis venues as well. Like they have some famous iconic courts, like clay courts, and you see the mountains in the background, and it's green, and yeah, I can really see like some tennis trips, and I would definitely recommend people, and I think you would agree, who's been on a lot of tennis trips, to consider that as kind of a vacation if you can, right? Like to go on and play tennis somewhere in a beautiful place, and you have the exercise, then you can allow yourself maybe eat some nice food after that and have a beer or two, and it seems like such a nice time. It's probably a memory for a lifetime in many of those places if you go for some good trip, right?
You can tennis and holiday is such a good combination because tennis is you're connecting with people all over the world. I mean, on every trip when I play tennis, you get to learn like 5, 10 new persons, because everyone is interested in a foreign tennis player, and they are starting to talk with you, and yeah, you making friends for life. And tennis holiday, find a real tennis club, not just play on the hotel complex, but go to a real tennis club or practice with the local tennis coach and local tennis players, and you will make friend for life. It's so nice. I can fully recommend it.
Yeah. No, it sounds great. It sounds great. And yeah, Yuan, as you mentioned, was also pretty strong player. Like he, pure arrow 98, lots of spin, pace.
Yeah, he used the Pure Aero 98 with swing weight of around 335, 340 or something, and he played. I didn't expect he was so good. He played really, really well. If he would compete in Sweden, he would be one of our top players. I would say he would be top 5 or something like that in the men's 45, because he was really, really strong, really fit, moved very well. A really, really good player. So it will be really good practice when I go down there next time as well. And I'm looking forward to it very much.
Yeah. And before that, you need to make up your mind on a racket. We'll see if that happens. But we hope
Yeah.
for the Blade 104. That will
Uh,
be something.
yeah, I would
Uh,
say I will use this one. And then maybe if we talk in 2 weeks, I would use maybe this, the Extreme Pro Stock, or a Prestige 600, or maybe a wooden racket. I don't know.
Who knows? Do
Who
you
knows?
um do you sometimes regret like selling rackets too fast when you are, or you, like, because we've talked about that before. Like, I mean, it's very easy. Do you really like fall in love with a racket? You play it for 3 weeks, you lose some bad matches, or you feel like you can't control the ball. That's generally the feeling I have, at least. And then you sell it, and then you're like, oh, I regret selling this.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
it's doesn't happen to me. Only one time it has happened that I really regret, and it was the VCore 100. If you remember, they had a red version and a black version. I think it was from around 2018,
Yeah.
2019, or something like that.
Yeah.
I really regret, because that is one of the best rackets I have ever used, and I played my best tennis with that one. And now it's I mean, old Yonex rackets, they are pretty much impossible to find on eBay or the trading sites. I don't know why, but used Yonex, they are really hard to find. So yeah, I regret selling that one.
Why
Uh,
is that? That's a good question, actually. Like, I think about that too. Like, finding older Yonex rackets. I mean, that not much older. I'm saying maybe 6, 7 years, whatever. Like you say, the VCore 2018, I think, was the release year. And I used to really like the VCore 95. I think that was my favorite VCore 95 of those frames. But then, like, you don't see them a lot for sale. Maybe do people keep them? Were there not that many sold? Maybe. And Yonex now are a much bigger brand. I think they sell a lot more rackets these days. They have so many more sponsor players than they had maybe even 10 years ago, right?
yeah, I think because the quality of Yonex is really, really good. So I think people, they are happy with their rackets. They are keeping it because the grommets of the Yonex rackets is really good, so they don't wear out so fast. They are the quality of the graphite in the rackets, it's top grade. So they are, yeah, I think actually people just keeping it because it performs year after year after year. So that must be a solution, that people are happy with their rackets and don't sell it, because if you want to have like a used head racket or a used Wilson or something, you can find it easily on eBay. But Yonex, not so much.
No, it's true. I think it's true that way. Because also the volume of head and Wilson rackets is impressive, right? They sell so many rackets per year. Now Yonex, they're doing well. I think we see them a lot more. You will also struggle probably to find a Technifiber rackets on the used market. I haven't seen many of those, but that's probably more of a volume thing than Yonex. But it's also like, maybe with Yonex, I've realized that people who like the Yonex feel, they are very brand loyal, because like Yonex have a specific feel. I mean, Wilson also, and head, of course, but they create some brand loyalty there. And I'm not sure exactly always why, but there's something there for sure. It seems like if you play Yonex, you like it, you will stick with Yonex, and then you move around with rackets there, kind of.
Yeah, something like that. And also Technifiber, as you said, they are pretty much impossible to find. Or that it is like Babolat Head, Wilson, they are selling so much more. I don't know, especially in the past. I mean, for older Technifiber, let's say 10, 15 years ago, if Babolat sells 1,000 rackets, maybe Technifiber sold 5 compared in volumes. But it's totally different now. But I think that yeah, people tend to keep their rackets longer because now, I mean, now a racket is like 300 euros. If
Yeah.
you are selling it used, even if you have only used it like 2 hours, you get maybe the standard 100 euros. So I think people will keep their rackets for a longer time. I think it will be harder to find used rackets at a good price in the future because the prices are so high now. So people don't, if they are going to sell it, they will sell it when they are really worn out.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's tough to get the money, but you're paying 300. Well, how much can you sell it for used? It's not that like it's not easy to sell a used product, even if it's used 5 times for 200. And then you lose 100 euros, right? Like if you sell it for well, use it 5 times, sell it for 200, you probably would sell it for 150 maybe,
Yeah.
which is not that easy to sell anyway, right? So people don't want to make bargains online, and that's a bit of a trick, when the prices now are so high with rackets. Do you have any specific rackets now you're looking forward to, or you're excited about like testing, or are you more looking forward to playing a lot of tennis on clay? Because I know Swedish weather has not been very kind so far this year. Hopefully, you can go out on the clay in a week or two. I don't know how the forecast looks.
The forecast for Central and Northern Europe is pretty shit in the coming 10 days. It's minus degrees, minus Celsius in the nights, and 4, 5, 6 degrees in the days. I know, for example, Innsbruck, they had 30 degrees yesterday and today. And next week, it will be -5 to +2 and heavy snow from Tuesday and onwards. So the
Wow.
weather is like changing. It's crazy. So I think our clay courts will open like maybe next weekend. So in the let's say around April 20 or something like that. But the problem is since it's so cold, the courts are very very soft, so you cannot slide. The courts get broken very easily. There are big holes, so and it's also very cold. The balls are damp. It's heavy. It's not fun. So it's better in May because in May normally the weather stabilizes and it could be like 25 degrees 2 weeks from now. So May is it's more fun to play in May because then the sun has made the courts a little bit harder and it's easier and more fun to play.
Yeah.
But I will try to play as much as possible. I've been trying to play 3-4 times a week now for a couple of weeks, and it feels much better. My game is improving, and when I'm playing 1 time a week, I'm just keeping my level. But now I'm really improving. I try to change the motion of my serve because I'm almost 2 meters and over 100 kilos. And with that kind of body mass, I should have like a really heavy serve and good serve. And I think I have a lot to work on with my serve. And I tried a different motion to get like a full, make a bigger service motion. And I tried it today and yesterday, and it feels much better. I think I have improved my serve quite a bit, and I can really use it as a weapon. And I also tried to do some more serve and volley to get up to the net. And I will try to work on my game. I'm not a baseline grinder. Have not the body to do as like David Ferrer on the baseline. So I need to work on what works best for me. And I also have some used head liquid metal instinct that I have bought from one guy in Austria. 3 of them. I got them pretty good price, so they will come in a week or two, and I'm looking forward to try that one. Um, I don't
This
know.
is the standard length version, or
Yes, yes,
yeah.
the normal, the MP 1819. Apart from that, I don't have any. I tried the Diadem Novas, the V3 as well. Good racket. The Tour was very low swing weight, like 305 or something, so it didn't happen so much with that one. But the Nova V3 is a really good racket. I think I could use that one as well in matches. A little bit stiff, maybe. I don't know how it will affect my elbow in the long run because the flex was around just short of 70, I think. But it's a really good racket, a good update. Felt a bit more. I think it felt more controlled than the V2. And yeah, apart from that, I don't have any more rackets that I can think of that I'm going to try in the
Yeah, I have
coming.
Technifiber TFX1, so their power spin racket. Technifiber can be confusing because they have the TF40 and then they have the T Fight, which are, for me it's two types of control rackets. I think they base maybe T Fight one more on the pro stuff and then the TF40 more on the blade, my guess. But they're both very control oriented. And then they have the TFX1, which I guess wasn't a huge seller for them. That's my feeling. Now you have Mute using it, the fiery Frenchman, who's quite fun to watch, especially if he has a meltdown. This is also fun to watch. But this racket, I'm curious about because they made a 98 now. 98 is kind of my sweet spot frame, and they have a 98, but the beam is very thick, so it's like 24.5 millimeters, something like a Clash. So that could be a bit troublesome. We will see. So I have that one, and I have the Vulkel Vustra, which is, I guess, some kind of Clash inspired racket. Some power and spin, but comfort focused. Vulcan rackets are semi famous, I guess, for their comfort. They used to be. We'll see how this one performs. Those two rackets I have arriving should be next week. And then some strings from Head, some recyclable strings. We will see how they go as well. So that's the most imminent ones. I expected to see more from Babla in the terms of the Pure Drive. I don't know if you know anything more, but the Pure Drive was just like a, for now, a 30 anniversary release. And did you see it? What do you think of the cosmetic of that one?
It felt very much 2020, like the old
Yep.
blue version, the Smurf version. I would say it would be much cooler if they have released the 1994 specifications straight up like a classic.
Yeah.
That would be much more cool. I don't see any point in this paint job at all. It's the same as the current version, as the blue paint job. Yeah, it's a new paint job. They could do some more fun and release the original, and I think that would sell much more than this updated paint job.
Yeah, I think people got, like, in my comments, they got pissed, I guess, from the tennis nerds because they also charge kind of a premium cost for this racket at like €300. And since it doesn't have anything more than a cosmetic update, that feels a bit like ripping someone off. You're like, okay, here we're just releasing. And I think this is a way the racket companies, if they really want to piss people off, they can just release cosmetics and then charge like a premium. And that's also a significant premium because if a racket's been around for 2021, so it's 3 years, or something more probably, then it should be on some kind of sale or cheaper. Because I understand if you release a new thing, it should be costing a bit more. You're pushing this; it's a marketing campaign, it's a blah 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 blah. But then if the model is kind of close to being outgoing, it needs to be cheaper. And maybe the old Pure Drive is cheaper, the 2021, but then you get the same racket and you want to pay 100 something euros more. No, I don't think so. I think it makes no sense. So it's a bit strange for me as
Very
well.
strange, very strange. I totally agree. Makes no sense at all.
No, so that can be a frustration sometimes. You don't understand. Having been in the racket industry for a while now and tested rackets for a long time, then you start, sometimes you can't understand what there seems to be no clear logic behind how the companies make the decisions, because it could be also easy for them if they use more of the feedback from not necessarily playtester, but from their fans or audience or people who are actually playing tennis. But I don't know how they do that. But if you would ask normal people and club players, like, would you pay 130 euro more, or whatever it is, 100 euro more for a cosmetic? I would think most people would say no. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, very strange. I have been trying the Nike Challenge.
turbo, yeah,
Yeah, no, not the
no
Turbo,
pro, yeah,
Pro,
no.
the hardcourt version, and I like it more and more. The only thing is that the laces, I have to retighten them pretty often. So I will actually install like ice hockey skate, a waxed ice hockey skate lace, because I think that will keep the tension on the laces much better. So I will try to install it both in my hardcourt version and my clay court version, and I will really give the clay court version a go now when the clay season starts here as well, because I just love the shoe. It's really yeah, it's one of the best shoes I have ever tried, and it has replaced my Adidas Boost Sole Court Boost as well. So it's a great shoe, but they have to do something in the next version about the tension loss in the laces, because you have to retighten it very often.
Yeah, I also noticed that, like because I also like the shoe a lot, and I've been testing pretty much all Nike models in recent years, and I've not been very impressed. Well, my body has not been impressed. I like the look, like the design is nice, Vapor 11s, Vapor Pro 2, whatever. But then I feel like I get some tightness. Could be my personal issue, but I feel like the dampening is not quite there. Or there's some discomfort from playing with them for a while. But these shoes, nothing like in terms of discomfort. Just and also no breaking. Just like I put them on and I could play in them and they're fine and I don't have any problems. For example. So those shoes have been very good for me. I've been testing now. I really like the longest shoe review because I've been testing new barricades, two different head shoes, the Sprint and the Revolt 4.5. One is 3.5, the Sprint, and then the Nike. But I think the head shoes are not bad. I think they're getting better. But the Nike shoes for clay for me it was been my winner, my biggest surprise I think. And also like it's something it's they're so comfortable you can even walk to the car. You can use them also outside the tennis court, and that's a big plus. Usually that's quite rare with tennis shoes. They're so firm, right? So
Yeah. So a really good update from, or a really good shoe from Nike, I must say that.
yeah. So what's up for you? You're going on any tennis trips? You have league matches starting or ending, or what's on your horizon? You're playing the Swedish Championship in summer, I guess.
Yeah, I will play a men's 45 and over tournament in Mjölby, a small place in the eastern part of Sweden next weekend. And then I think there is a tournament at my home club in Tabergsdalen as well. And then I will go to Austria, and then there are some league matches in Sweden as well, and some other tournaments. So I will try to play like a competitive tournament or league match at least every second week or something like that. So I always have something to work for. And I will also try to work a little bit more on my fitness. I need to lose some weight now. I'm a bit too heavy again, so I need to go down to around or sub 100 kilos, because the knees and joints are not happy. If you're playing on a decent level and you are too heavy, it takes its toll on the body, especially now when you're getting older. Um, and then, of course, the Swedish Open, the ATP event in Båstad. Maybe you come down as well. We'll see, and we can play some tennis there. And then the Swedish Championships as well. And then I will promise you that I will come down to Marbella in October.
Good.
We have been talking about that since the pandemic, so now it's about time I come down there and we play some tennis.
Yeah, that would be great. No, I think it's good for you to have a bit of a competitive schedule, no matter if you love that or not. But it's like it makes gives you something to work for, even when you go to the gym, for example. Like if you're playing a lot of tennis, you need to go to the gym just to maintain your body because like, it's so easy to get injured. As soon as you get a bit older, things start to hurt a bit more. It takes a bit longer to recover, and the gym or stretching, yoga, all of the above helps. You don't need to go out and run 20K in the woods, but to make sure that your body is pretty smooth. There's no stiffness anywhere, unnecessary stiffness. Go for a massage or whatever. It's really helped me to play better and to play more tennis because now I play a lot of tennis, right?
Yeah, the more you play, the more your body adapts to playing much. I mean, if I have not been playing for 3 weeks and then I start to play 2 hours, I mean, I cannot walk for like 2 weeks after that. So the more I play, the more fit I will get. So yeah, we'll see in summer in the videos. Maybe we can play without any t-shirts on.
That's the plan. That's the plan. Beach body, tennis t-shirt, and you have that tennis burn that I have now because it's like silly. It's like it's like so brown, and then I go up here, it's like
Yeah,
white. It's
we
pretty bad.
we don't have it here. We have not seen the sun for like 6 months now, so we are white as my background here.
Yeah, yeah, I know the feeling. Sweden can be quite tough mentally for this time. We've been lucky now in the last few weeks here that it's been really nice spring weather, and you're playing a lot of tennis. Then you can overplay. So that's last few days it's been a bit of overplay, like 7 hours in 2 days, maybe a bit much. We will see.
Yeah, it's not much. You're still young, Jonas.
Yeah, I'm very young. All right, then that's been a nice conversation. I know you have to go and hang out with your family and your daughter. But always fun to hear from you and your racket excursions. Next time, we will see what racket you hold up then, which is as your new love, and we will see what racket I hold up. It's not like I'm any better. That's why I usually laugh when we talk, because I'm feeling like, all right, this is a guy who understands my addiction. It's like racket it switches anonymous, right? So it's what it is.
Crazy. You
Crazy
only live
life.
once.
Yes, that's for sure. All right, Henrik, have a nice evening. Take care, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.